Have you ever looked at your life and thought, why does nothing seem to change even though I'm working so hard? Rohn had an answer that shook me the first time I heard it. He said, do something different in the next 90 days than you did in the last 90 days. At first it sounds almost too simple, but think about it. If the last 90 days of your life didn't bring you closer to where you want to be, why repeat the same actions for the next 90? That's like walking in circles and wondering why you never arrive anywhere new. It could be something as small as picking up a new book, starting a simple health habit, calling a family member more often, or learning a new skill. The point isn't how big the change is, the point is that you are changing. Because here's the truth, we can't always change the circumstances around us. We can't stop the rain, alter the seasons, or control the economy, but we can change ourselves. And when we change, everything changes. Jim shared something with me once that at first felt hard to swallow. He said, what you have right now, you've attracted by the person you've become. Now let's be honest, that stings a little, doesn't it? Because it's so much easier to blame the government, the boss, the economy, or even bad luck. But the day you stop pointing fingers and instead ask yourself, what do I need to change about me? That's the day your future begins. He then gave me the secret that completely turned my life around. Learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. I'll never forget that line. If you work hard on your job, yes, you'll make a living. But if you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune, not just financially, but in relationships, influence, happiness, and freedom. Let me confess something. At 25, I was no stranger to hard work. You'd have looked at me and said, Jim is a hard worker, comes in early, stays late, doesn't mind putting in the hours, and yet my pockets were empty, my promises were broken, and my bank account was, well, let's just say it wasn't impressive. Why? Because I was working hard on my job, but not on me. And that's the shift most people never make. They work tirelessly on external things, the job, the paycheck, the tasks, but they neglect the inner things, the mindset, the philosophy, the communication, the disciplines that actually determine how far they'll go. Jim would remind me, don't try to change the seed, don't try to change the soil, or the sun, or the rain, or the seasons. Those are beyond your control. Instead, change yourself, your philosophy, your attitude, your ability to communicate, your personal value. Because when you change, your whole world changes. I remember complaining once about my paycheck. I told my mentor, this is all the company pays. He looked at me and said, no, Jim, this is all the company pays you. Ouch, that one hurt. But then he pointed something out. Didn't the company pay other people 2, 3, even 5 times what I was earning? That was proof that the company could pay more. It was just that I hadn't qualified yet. That's when it clicked. We don't have to work on the company. We have to work on ourselves. That's personal development. That's the real game. And here's another perspective he gave me. When I said things were too expensive, he corrected me. He said, it's not that things are too expensive, Jim. It's that you can't afford them yet. He explained that some of life's treasures are deliberately placed on the high shelf, not to keep you out, but to make sure you grow tall enough to reach them. And how do you grow taller? By standing on the books you read, the lessons you learn, and the skills you develop. The higher your personal growth, the higher the shelf of life you can reach. And then came the phrase that became the foundation of my entire life philosophy. Success is something you attract by the person you become. That one line changed me forever. Success isn't a butterfly you chase. It's something that lands on your shoulder because you've become attractive to it. And this is why I teach people today that profits are better than wages. Wages will make you a living, but profits can make you a fortune. And you don't have to quit your job to begin. You can work full-time on your living and part-time on your fortune. Think about the difference. Waking up not just to pay the rent, but to build a life that matters, to create freedom, to grow into someone who attracts opportunities instead of constantly chasing them. And here's the best part. Anyone can do it. Anyone can change in 90 days. Anyone can pick up a book, learn a new discipline, or take responsibility for where they are. Because if you'll just start working harder on yourself than you do on your job, your future won't just improve, it'll explode with possibilities. So here's the question to leave you with. Are you willing to do something different in the next 90 days, even if it feels small? Because those small changes compound into a life you can't even imagine right now. If this is resonating with you and you are getting value, do well to like and subscribe for more soul-shifting nuggets. And don't forget to share and turn on the notification bell icon so you never miss a video. Let's keep going. Here's something Jim Rohn taught that turned my life upside down in the best possible way. Don't search for the exotic until you've mastered the basics. We live in a world obsessed with shortcuts, the newest hack, the latest shiny trick, the secret formula that promises overnight success. But let me ask you, what good is chasing the exotic if you don't even have the fundamentals locked in? It's like buying a Lamborghini when you don't know how to drive a stick shift. You look successful, but deep down you're stalled at the basics. Success is not something you pursue. Success is something you attract by the person you become. That single line forced me to pause, because think about it. Isn't it strange that most people spend their entire lives chasing money, chasing titles, chasing recognition, but they never stop to ask, what kind of person do I need to become to attract those things naturally? If you want wealth, don't just chase money. Become the kind of person who knows how to manage, multiply and respect money. And then, money finds you. If you want love, don't just chase relationships. Become someone who radiates kindness, respect and strength, and love will be drawn to you. If you want influence, don't just chase followers. Become a person of wisdom, value and character, and people will follow you, not because you beg them, but because you inspire them. That's the secret. You don't chase success, you grow into it. Jim went further and dropped a truth bomb that's worth the price of any seminar ticket. What you become is far more valuable than what you get. Sit with that for a moment. We've been conditioned to ask the wrong question at work, in business, in life. We ask, what am I getting here? What's the salary? What's the benefit? What's in it for me? But the real question is, what am I becoming here? What skills am I learning? What discipline am I developing? What kind of character am I building? Because what you get can be taken away, the paycheck, the position, the recognition, but what you become, nobody can steal that. Your discipline, your wisdom, your resilience, your character, those are yours forever. Jim put it simply, if you become cynical, you'll attract cynicism. If you become bitter, you'll attract bitterness. But if you become disciplined, wise, generous and strong, you'll attract opportunities, relationships, and success you never even dreamed of. Now, here's the beauty of personal development. It's universal. Whether you're building financial wealth, spiritual strength, personal influence, or social impact, everything flows out of who you're becoming. Jim said he became a millionaire by age 31. But here's what most people miss. The money wasn't the big deal. The transformation was. It wasn't the bank account that mattered most. It was the man he became along the way. That's the real treasure. But here's another principle that makes you stop and think. Be a student, not a follower. This one's dangerous if you miss it. Too many people blindly copy others, trying to live their life as a carbon copy of someone else. Jim warned against this. He said, don't be anyone's disciple. Don't live as a replica. Don't swallow advice without thinking. Yes, take notes. Yes, learn from mentors. But in the end, design your own life. Tear up the notes if they don't fit. Chart your own course. Because here's the truth. Success is not a stereotype. It's not a Ferrari. It's not a mansion. It's not a private jet. Success is not about fitting into someone else's picture. Success is the continual unfolding of the design of your own life and pulling it off. That means if your dream is to build $1 billion company and you pull it off, you're successful. If your dream is to live in a cabin in the mountains, feed squirrels and live off the land, and you pull it off, guess what? You're just as successful. Because the true definition of success is living the life you designed and not apologizing for it. Now here's where it gets deeper. Jim said every life form on Earth except humans strives to its maximum potential. Think about it. A tree doesn't stop halfway and say, that's tall enough. No, it grows as tall as it possibly can. Every root goes as deep as possible. Every branch stretches as wide as possible. Every life form goes all the way, except us. Why? Because we've been given something trees don't have: the dignity of choice. And that's both a gift and a trap. We can choose to do a little or do a lot. We can choose discipline or regret. We can choose to grow tall or stay small. But Jim gave us a warning: whatever choice we make, there's always a price. He said, we all must suffer one of two pains: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And here's the kicker: discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. Skipping the workout is easy, eating the junk food is easy, procrastinating on your dream is easy. But the regret of lost health, wasted years, or a dream never attempted, that's heavy, that follows you, that crushes you. So the wise path: carry the ounce of discipline today to avoid the tons of regret tomorrow. And let's be honest, haven't you noticed that life has a funny way of proving this true? The things that taste sweet in the mouth often turn bitter in the belly later. The quick wins from greed, the easy outs, the shortcuts, they always cost more than they give. That's why Jim reminded us, even if you gained the whole world but lost your soul in the process, was it worth it? No, because success without peace of mind isn't success. Wealth without character isn't wealth. Growth without integrity isn't growth. So here's the final message: design your own life, not somebody else's. Yours. Do a little, do a lot. Grow tall like the tree, or stop halfway. It's your choice. But whatever you do, let it be your choice. Because at the end of the day, true success is not about living someone else's dream. It's about looking in the mirror and knowing you're living yours. Jim Rohn wrapped it all up with this timeless truth: disciplines weigh ounces, regrets weigh tons. Choose wisely. Type that in the comment section, and when I see your comment, I will know you're wise and give your comment a heart. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more powerful insights like this. And remember, what you become is far more valuable than what you get. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next one. We appreciate you.